So there was an extended version of Pink Floyd's Live at Pompeii released last year. It is like the official definitive version of that legendary performance. It has been a while since I've seen it, and I intend on reviewing it. But lo and behold, what if I told you there's one that is truly probably second place, at least top five, Pink Floyd together or members separate, having their own legendary performance. The Wall, live in Berlin from 1991. Oh, right. So, what exactly is going on here, you may wonder. In 1989, the Berlin Wall, for so long the symbol of the freaking Cold War, came crashing down. 12 months later, this defining moment was marked by one of the greatest rock concerts of all time. The place, Potsdamer Platz, sat between the two Berlin walls which divide the city. For decades, people had died trying to escape from communism and capitalism. In 1990, this extraordinary concert would open this historic landmark. The DVD. This epic production is now brought to life in DVD, digitally remastered, with 5.1 surround sound and exclusive liner notes. This disc also includes a new documentary, set in character designs, animation, and previously unreleased footage. The performances. Special guest, Bryan Adams. The band. The band were the Bob Dylan's backing band. Rick Danko, Garth Hudson, Levon Helm, Paul Carrick, Thomas Dolby. Yes, she blinded me with Science Guy. Jerry Hall, The Hooters, Cyndi Lauper, Uta Lemmer, Patty Monley, Joni Mitchell, Van Morrison, Sinead O'Connor, and Scorpions. Not the Scorpions, just Scorpions. The trial sequence. Tim Curry. Teacher, Thomas Dolby. Wife, Uta Lemper. Mother, Marianne Faithfull. Judge, Albert Finney. The Bleeding Heart Band. Graham Board drums. Rick Difonso guitar. Andy Fairweather Low. Guitar and bass. Nick Glennie Smith. Keyboard. Snowy White guitar. Played in Thin Lizzy. Peter Wood. Keyboards. Backing vocals. Joe Chamay. Jim Farber. Jim Haas. And John Joyce. The choir, the orchestra, the marching band. The East Berlin Rundfunk Choir and Orchestra conducted by Michael Kamen. The marching band of the combined Soviet forces in Germany. Jesus Pete. So, this is probably the definitive version of The Wall ever performed. 1991. 1990. What the heck ever. And, this was not, these are some kind of extensive notes. So, in the flesh, the Scorpions perform it with an airplane flying sound, which deals with the militaristic themes that go on later. The Thin Ice, a piano introduces it. We get the full orchestra, kind of a heavy song. Another Brick in the Wall, nice groovy bass solo, no chorus, with Roger singing with bass and keyboards. I got a nice saxophone, an alto sax, which kind of contains the solo bass piece going on, with the disco beat going on. That's more famous in part 2. Happiest Days, Brick in the Wall part 2. An inflatable alien appears, or some type of dog or whatever. I'm not sure what it was. Let's see. Of course, we got all the guitar parts. We got all the blocks appear. Cyndi Lauper appears, and the keyboardist is having a lot of fun. Cyndi Lauper appears in a schoolgirl outfit, which I was not expecting, but it fits with all how Floyd the character was raised. Mother, which is a slower intro. You have one of the members of the band performing with an accordion. Sinead O'Connor. It picks up with a little bit. Let's see, maybe, and it's definitely a very intense performance from her. Saying those intense lyrics going on. The beat. We have the band helping out. It's a nice job. So blah blah blah. Very good stuff. Goodbye, Blue Sky. We have some animations from the movie. We have a flute and calm scenes as images show, and then eventually Joni Mitchell comes out. Empty spaces. We have a guitar, reverb, flames, and let's see, repeat at A9. We got a whole freaking group of people coming out. Young Lust. It's got a little bit more rock to it with Bryan Adams singing. Dirty Woman. Nice keyboards. Something guys with the. And there's also, I know for a second that the bass player has a very big nose. I don't know why. OMG, what a fabulous view. So we get a phone call and some comic book panels going on. All the while, we get to see Roger, who's playing up in like in a cordoned off section of the wall, because as the while the wall is slowly being built. So imagine just being like a stagehand coming in, and you just have to assemble just this colossal wall. Holy smokes. One of my turns. Singing in a stage in the upper left corner, a song of love gone wrong. There is shaded figures as the wall is being built. Another brick in the wall, part 3, disco beat. We're all just bricks in the wall as the orchestra plays. Goodbye, cruel world. Singing as the last brick is installed. Hey You out there in the cold. The band performs behind the wall with a great solo, a la, it's almost poetic, you know. It just sounds really good. Is there anybody out there? A spoken word, a shot of the massive stage. I mean, this is a freaking colossal stage. It's probably as wide as like the end zone of a football stadium. I don't know how big it is, but it is colossal. Let's just put it that way. Nobody home. A man looking for anyone. Audience is singing. A nice, loud, airy guitar solo. Where is the? Here we go. Vera. Who is singing? People holding torches. But of course, this is just like what I mentioned earlier. War propaganda. As we get to see stuff from like Vietnam and Japan and Spain and everything else. Bring the boys back home. Bunch of soldiers come on. We get pictures of a military cemetery. It is truly an epic sight. And then, of course, we get to the comfortably numb, where the protagonist has been institutionalized, and the band come in and handle vocals. We even get to see Roger, dressed as a doctor, hold a colossal syringe. What the hell? Let's see, and this version on YouTube, there is a version of Waters performing it. Has 192 million views. 192 million views. I think this version supersedes it because you have two people performing, which adds to a truly legendary, awe-inspiring moment. Let's see, and yeah. And you even have them playing from a cherry picker. Holy smokes. In the flesh, we get a bunch of motorcycles, limousine, etc. as the Scorpions return. And we have a whole chorus with a fascist military anthem. That's what I noticed with it. Run Like Hell, the radio staple. Yeah, it's a very happy sound despite the heavy themes. There's also some people descending the wall for whatever reason, aka rebellion, I guess. Waiting for the worms and stop. There's a man with a huge megaphone, more propaganda, and you have a whole bunch of hammers walking, tear down this wall. The trial, a king and someone else. You got a lot of character for the themes presented. Tear down the wall. Glorious sight as the wall is demolished. It is just a fantastic shot of the set. And you have the big finale where everyone comes out, all the members perform. It's a freaking epic. Period. Freaking period. And there's no other way to describe it. I mean, look at this eyes. Mamma mia. I remember receiving a call from Roger asking me to produce an event for a worldwide TV audience. Gerard's Scarf's animation were to be used, and Mark Fisher and Jonathan Park, who had designed the original theatrical set, were to be the show designers. At first, my role did not involve recruiting the talent, and I concentrated on ensuring that the world got to see a stunning production. However, a few months later, the whole project was in jeopardy, as those responsible for talent had failed to enlist anyone save a small interest from the Scorpions. Almost 250,000 tickets had been sold. Video and CD deals had been made in well over 50 countries. Broadcast had signaled had signed up to a show featuring Roger Waters and many guests, but there were no guests and it was only 8 weeks to go. Roger called a roundtable meeting of all heads of departments, and it was decided that I should book the talent. I accepted the job on that one condition. That Roger flew me with 3 days later to LA to be on call if I got interest. The next day I flew the old conference contacts in East Germany, and before the day was finished, I had booked the East Berlin Rundfunk Choir and Orchestra and the marching band of the combined Soviet forces in Germany stationed in East Germany. Looking back on events, it was a massive sign of the times that this was possible. In normal times, orchestra and choirs are booked a year in advance, but as the DDR, not Dance Dance Revolution, was being dismantled, they were free. I still find it amazing that we were able to book the marching band, but the Soviet Union was crumbling, and all I could see the writing on the wall. I met Roger in LA and pounded on the phones. I suggested Joni Mitchell for Goodbye Blue Sky, and she accepted. Then followed Bryan Adams and the legendary members of the band. Roger and I then made a trip to San Francisco to meet Neil Young and Sinead O'Connor, who had just had the massive hit Nothing Compares to You. We met Sinead, and she agreed to sing the part of the boy. Unfortunately, Neil had bad family news that day, so we never actually met up. Boy, that would have been legendary. It was a difficult process as we were trying to match vocal styles to songs. And that came to Ute Lempe, then mainly known as Germany for her Kurt Weill operas, to sing Thin Ice, then Paul Carrack and Van Morrison. Van was very interested, but was very unsure of the song Comfortably Numb. We had to arrange a rehearsal session in Nama Studio so that Roger and the band could let Van try it out. The first plan for the trial sequence was to use Gerald's rich animation to tell the story. I was worried that this would look too unlive and suggested to Roger we should cast it with actors. Roger was unconvinced. My first suggestion is that we approach Sean Connery for the part of the judge, but Roger did not agree. Could you just imagine? It was like, "Hi, it is me, Sean Connery, and I am not playing any Bond." I had to do it. I must have gone through another 100 suggestions before saying Albert Finney. Roger latched onto that, and soon we had cast the whole trial sequence with Albert, Tim Connery, Marianne Faithfull, Thomas Dolby, who blinded them with an amazing performance in Not Science from Ute. The whole cast came together in Berlin. Michael Kamen was rehearsing choir and orchestra, and Roger had already rehearsed the Bleeding Heart Band to perfection before going out to the Soviet Army base to rehearse the marching band. They had each star arrived the week before the show and rehearsed their song with the band. By the time the production was almost finished, Mark and Jonathan had created a spectacular and enormous stage and puppets within a massive wall that could be built and then torn down. A tremendous spectacle in itself. With Mark Norton and the team, they had created some very powerful graphic images to be projected into the full length of the 600-foot long and 60-foot high polystyrene wall. The graphics contemplated Gerard's work and the anti-war message of bringing the boys back home far more explicit. Separately, the director Ian Emmis had filmed some special pieces to mix directly into the TV feed. Most of them have never been seen before, as the show proved to be too rich in content, but this DVD for the first time in the extras. However, we did use footage he shot combining Gerard Scarf's animation with the heavily gratified and postered real Berlin Wall. Memories of the show are best left to the documentary in this DVD, where Roger Waters, Nick Griffiths, Mark Morton, myself, Gerald Scarf, and Jonathan Park remember how it all went. It was a pity to have missed Mark Fisher. He was too ill on our filming days. Last week I sat in Studio 3 at Abbey Road, where Nick Griffiths had just finished mixing the 5.1 sound. track. You've done a fantastic job. And for the first time since the show, you really hear the quality of the performances and the scale of the audience. The music from the menus is inspired. Together with the digitally corrected images, this DVD does justice to the original shows. I hope you will enjoy and appreciate the depth of creativity that went onto the show, much of which is broken out into the gallery of stills. Royalties from this DVD will go to support long-term post-conflict and disaster relief, as Leonard wouldn't have wished. So get comfortable, forget the neighbors, and turn up. Tony Hollingsworth, London, 2003. Dang. That's all I get. It is definitely 100%. And Waters himself had to put some payment towards it just to get this whole thing going. But yeah, it is with the highest degree that we get this back in the public conscious, at least with all the crud going on, that you watch Roger Waters' The Wall live in Berlin.